Hey you! You're finally awake. You were trying to cross the border, right? Walked right into a YouTube video about cooking. Well, I'm glad that you're awake. I can finally teach you the correct way to make chocolate milk, because you're doing it wrong. See, most people, they start out with the milk, and they pour in a bunch of this stuff. And then they can't get it to intermix very well. You're doing it wrong. See, what you need to do is you need to pour this in first. The next key step is to pop it in the microwave for about 15 seconds. What this does is reduces the viscosity so that when you pour the milk in, it stirs in a lot easier. Of course, we need some tools. I have my spoon prime. You can use just a regular spoon if you want. The glorious part about this is that as you pour in the milk, you barely need any stirring. Look at that, barely any on the bottom of the glass. Delicious. Okay, I am going to show you how to make a very nice, easy meal with the following ingredients. So, what we have here is some rice cooker, the water necessary, some frozen vegetables, some hot dogs, honey, soy sauce, sesame oil, and sriracha, and some butter. Now, you can swap out the butter for an olive oil or any other type of grease or whatever you want to use to cook the hot dogs with. First, we're going to start with the sesame oil. Now, we're going to be putting this into our rice cooker. This makes it so when you're cooking the rice, it doesn't stick as much to the bottom of the pan. What you want to do is you want to get a nice thin layer all over the bottom of the pan. Okay, just like that. Now I'm going to be using about a half cup of rice. Just pour that on in there. And then about a cup, maybe a little bit more, of water. You generally want to do about double the amount of water. Take the lid, go ahead and pop that on, plug in your rice cooker, and then tap that button. Boop. Now if you're like me, you watch channels like Binging with Babish, food channels, You Suck at Cooking, yeah you totally suck, and you think, wow, I could make that too. And then you never do, because much like me, you have no motivation to actually take care of yourself.
I know who you are, boy, because you're me.
So I'm going to do a nice, about 30-minute meal. You can actually make most of this meal before this rice cooker even pops. Okay, now we're going to start on our hot dogs. Now, of course, you don't have to use a completely unopened package of hot dogs for this. You can use, whatever hot dogs you have laying around. But you're going to get your hot dogs out. Now, I usually do, for my lunches, about 3. Pretty good amount for just one person. Line them all up nice, and give them a nice little chop, chop, chop. And don't chop your thumbs off either. That usually doesn't help very well. Although I guess the blood would make a nice seasoning, but, probably best not to do cannibalism. People really frown upon that most of the time. Most of the time. It's a regional thing. It's a regional thing. Alright. Now once your hot dogs are all chopped up, gonna get out your butter. Open it nice and easy. get just a little bit into the pan. I usually use pre-melted butter. Now, of course, you can use salted, unsalted butter, olive oil, your sesame oil, whatever you want to use. Gonna turn your heater on to about medium-high, something like that. Then you're gonna want to wait until this starts getting nice and melted. Not all of it has to be melted before you throw in your hot dogs, but you want to make sure you got a nice layer on there. And then just going to throw in your hot dogs. Nice and easy, just like that. Now as the pan heats up, you'll get more of your butter mixed in there. Break apart any hot dogs that are sticking together. Like those ones, they were apparently best friends. I'm going to separate them like Thanos separated Gamora from her mother. Of course, we've still got our rice cooker running. No funny business here. I'm not gonna pop out with a fully cooked thing of rice without any warning and just be like, "Oh, I totally just had this sitting around. It was just sitting there in the background." Alright, so now you can see a little butter starting to sizzle. Alright, so as that starts going, alright, so as this starts going, you'll start getting a little bit of singeing and burning or whatever on your hot dogs. You're going to throw in some of your mixed vegetables. You can use whatever kind of vegetables you want. You can use a broccoli stir fry or you know, something with like potatoes, whatever you want. I just use a corn, peas, carrot, green bean mix. Just gonna throw that in there. Alright, as you can see, our hot dogs are starting to brown a little bit. Like that one right there. Now you can completely forget, you can completely leave out throwing the corn and everything in here if you want. And what I sometimes do is I'll just brown up my hot dogs, throw in my rice, and then I'll throw in my frozen vegetables in after everything else. If you're doing this for lunch, you know, starting it at the start of the day, I like to throw my vegetables into everything else after I'm done cooking everything, and by the time I eat my lunch about 4 hours later, it's all thawed out. I have some nice soft vegetables to go with my rice and my hot dogs.
A few minutes of sizzling later.
Okay, now we've got everything browned up nicely. We're going to set that aside. Alright, turn off our oven. I'm just going to set this over here on a nice cool burner. If it continues to cook a little bit afterwards, that's fine. Now what we're going to do next is our sauce. This is comprised of our soy sauce, our honey, and our sriracha. Will you hand me that bowl, please? Thank you. Now, what I generally do is I put it right into the bowl that I'm going to be eating out of for the day. First, I'm going to start in our honey. Then sriracha for a little bit of spice. There's soy sauce for a little bit of salt. This gives us 3 different intermixings of flavor. Now the unfortunate thing is that the honey is so thick that it's not going to intermix with everything very well. So just apply a little bit of heat. 10 seconds is plenty enough to get that done.
7 agonizing seconds of microwaving later.
Pull that out. And then we're just going to give it a nice little stir. Alright, you see that everything is kind of mixing together a lot easier than it would have without that. You'll get this nice kind of reddish brown sauce mix. And now we're going to go check on our rice. Okay, it's kind of bubbling. We're not quite done yet. So we'll come back when that is nice and all done.
1 poorly planned parody poem performance later.
That's looking like it's just about done. Alright. So now, with our nice little safety glove, I'm going to take our rice. We're going to dump it right into our serving bowl. Now you might like yours a little bit more done than this, a little bit less done. That's all up to user preference. Alright, now we're going to get this all nice and mixed up into our rice. You can see that our sauce is sticking quite nicely. Alright, then we're going to throw in our meat and veggies. Drop some of it on the ground, as is per tradition. Got my daily in. Alright. Then we'll get that all nice and mixed up in there. Will you hand me my lid? Thank you. And now, we're all ready for lunch. Just don't forget your spoon prime.
Several hours later.
Now, with the rest of this video out of the way, let's talk about the challenges associated with this project. First of all, the subject matter. See, I put that Twitter poll up and there were a bunch of people that wanted me to make a cooking video. Well, here it is. The only problem was, what do I cook? You know, I'm no chef, let's be honest. But, you know, I do have to make food on a daily basis, and so I just made what I eat pretty much every day. I had my girlfriend, my partner in crime, filming the video for me. We had a certain amount of, let's call them fumbles along the way. Right, take that out. And, but we got through it okay. We executed some interesting ideas, some of them on the fly, like dropping the spatula. It happens. Alongside that, I had to roll without a script. I'm rolling without a script right now. It still feels kind of awkward, but, you know, improvisation is the spice of life. Also, I wasn't sure if I was ready to throw my face on the channel just quite yet. Gotta have that sense of anonymity. So, I threw on my Warframe hat, my Scorpion Mortal Kombat 11 mask that I got with the game, and my Founder's shirt. Because flexing my Warframe swag in a non-Warframe video is how I live my life. But, enough of that. Let's go to the outro. So, pour your sesame oil, dump your rice and water in, boop the button, chop and saute your hot dogs and your veggies, mix and make your sauces, nuke them together, then dump it all into a bowl and ravenously consume it like Kirby, but savor it like chocolate milk. Delicious.